The market is more demanding than ever. Deadlines are tighter. Budgets are thinner. Expectations are higher. This is not the era of task managers. This is the era of project leaders. Strategy means nothing without execution, and execution collapses without leadership. So the question is not whether projects matter. The question is whether you're equipped to lead them. Welcome to Project Management Masterclass, where we sharpen the mindset, frameworks, and discipline required to turn strategy into measurable results.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Project Management Masterclass. Before I introduce today's topic, I have a question for you. When was the last time your organization changed something? Whether it was a new system, a process, or even a leadership style, and everyone just went along with it and everything was implemented smoothly. Yeah, probably never, or in some cases, very rare. You see, change is inevitable. And you know that old cliche we always see and hear. The only constant in life is change, which is very true. Today, I'm talking about 5 reasons change management is necessary, and not just how we embrace it ourselves, but how we orchestrate this change in the environments we operate in, the complex world of projects, deadlines, and people. But to orchestrate or facilitate change, we have to understand what's within the heart of it all. Let's start at the root. The number one reason is we change for a reason. No organization disrupts itself randomly. There's always a driver. Those drivers could be competitive pressure, inefficiency, growth, cost reduction, innovation. Something isn't working or something better is always possible. Change begins with purpose. But here is where, as we as leaders, sometimes where we can assume things, and we assume everyone understands the purpose clearly as we do. And many times that is not the case. They don't. If people don't understand the why, they will question the what. So the context is very important. And when they question the what, they will resist the how. Too often I've heard it's not black and white. And my response has been, well, what does it take to make it black and white? Clarity is not optional. It's foundational. But here's the transition we can't ignore. Even when people understand the reason for change, that doesn't mean they'll automatically embrace it. Because organizations don't change automatically. It's the people within the organizations that change. Which leads me to reason number 2, why change management is necessary and why we need to understand it. Organizational change requires individual change. An organization is simply a collection of individuals making decisions every day. Whether that's a new strategy, it still depends on someone executing it. Is it that new system? It still depends on someone using it. The new process still depends on someone adopting it. Every organizational change eventually lands in someone's daily routine and could be a disruptor to their way of working, if not clearly understood what is the reason for the change. And here's the reality. Individuals experience change emotionally before they can process it logically. They wonder, what does this mean for me? What's in it for me? Will I succeed? Am I being replaced? Do I still have influence? So if you ignore that internal dialogue, you create that silent resistance. And here's why that matters. Because if individuals don't shift, the organizations won't either. Which leads me to the third reason why change management is necessary. Organizational outcomes are the collective results of individual change. The KPIs, the deadlines, all the strategic targets, they are all downstream of behavior. When individuals adopt the change, outcomes improve. And when they don't, that's when we begin to see performance stall, or we're not getting the results as quickly as we anticipated. And here's the truth. We can't spreadsheet our way out of poor adoption. As I've said in the past, we can have the best roadmap, the cleanest PowerPoint decks, the strongest executive sponsorship, and still fail in daily behavior as if we don't change. So outcomes are dependent on behavior. Then we as leaders need something intentional to really guide that shift. And that's where change management moves from optional to essential. Reason number 4, why change management is necessary. Change management is the enabling framework for the people side of change. Without structure, change feels chaotic. With structure, it becomes doable. I like to call it organized chaos. And there are frameworks, whether it's ADKAR, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, ADKAR, or it's your own internal model for change management and change competency. But these frameworks exist to guide people through the awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. Change management forces us to ask, have people truly understood the reason? Do they want this change? Do they know how to execute it? Are they supported? Is the new behavior being reinforced? It slows you down just enough to ensure you're moving people and not really just moving the task. And that distinction leads to the final reason, because completing a project is not the same as realizing its value. Reason number 5, why change management is necessary. We apply change management to realize the benefits and desired outcomes of change. As I stated, we can implement systems and still fail. We can restructure a department and still lose that productivity we once had. We can launch a strategy and still miss the market. Why? Because benefits are only realized when people sustain new behaviors long enough for results to compound. Change management ensures the outcome sticks. It moves from the change from the announcement stage to the adoption stage. After the adoption stage, you have the reinforcement, what is sustaining that change, and then from the reinforcement to the measurable benefit. That's the difference between activity and transformation. So here's the sequence. We change for reason. That reason requires individuals to shift. Their shift determines outcomes. We can utilize frameworks to guide that shift. And we do all of it to ensure that change will deliver real value. So change is not just a project phase. It truly is a leadership discipline. And if you want execution excellence, we can no longer just continue to manage timelines, and we cannot just be facilitators of change. We really have to orchestrate the change and be in the heart of the change and helping to drive the change management plan into actionable results that lead to organizational outcomes and benefits. If you manage transitions, and if you're a project professional who feels technically strong, but want to strengthen your influence, communication, and leadership presence, I created a program specifically for that. It's called the Power Skills Leadership Accelerator, and I'm currently opening up to a small founding cohort of professionals who want to move from managing projects, managing change, to leading with greater confidence and impact. Founding members will receive the full program, coaching sessions, and access to professional community while I refine the experience. If you'd like to learn more, you can find the details in the show notes of this episode. Be ambassadors for change and watch the transformation unfold.
Execution separates professionals from leaders. Stay disciplined, stay intentional, stay sharp. This is Project Management Masterclass.